Hello, everyone out there in the global and digital world. Thanks for tuning in. This is SpiritX channel, YouTube channel. We are exploring modern day spirituality. So here is what I would like to address in this short video. So as a spiritual teacher and author and philosopher, I'm often asked by many folks, many spiritual practitioners, the following question. How does the spiritual life start? So how does the spiritual life start? And many people think that it starts with some mind-blowing revelation or some mind-blowing spiritual insight or meeting an important spiritual visionary or a prophet or a person, etc. But my answer is actually something much more simpler than that. The spiritual life starts with a pause, or what I call a holy pause. And in this video, I would like to explore with you this holy pause. So by holy pause, I mean slowing down of the body, of the mind, and of the world. And that slowing down ensures that we open ourselves to the deeper dimension of our being and deeper dimension of reality. And here is the trick. So we all know and we all notice that modern living, modern day life is extremely fast. It can be very overwhelming. It can be complex, which can be beautiful, but it can be also very complicated, which is very heavy and very overwhelming. So in return, and as a result, we overlook our deeper nature, so that busyness, that noise of modern life actually overshadows our deeper nature. So if we don't take what I call a holy pause, we just live in ignorance, and that's a big problem. And ignorance reinforces suffering, and suffering, nobody's happy. You are not happy, people around you are not happy, and the world is not happy. So you may ask, so what are the examples of a holy pause that actually start or jumpstart our spiritual life? Good example would be communing with nature. You go for a hike or a walk around the pond. Another example would be that you have one day a week, which is originally the meaning of Sunday, when you really radically slow down. So no social media, no work, just chilling out. Another example of holy pause would be that you spend some time daily or at least weekly in silence, which is very unusual nowadays. There is noise inner and outer all the time. So silence is a really good holy pause. And the best example of holy pause would be engaging regularly, meaning daily or at least weekly, in various spiritual practices. So we live in extraordinary times when it comes to spiritual practices. We have available to us meditation, yoga, satsang, contemplation, prayer, working with a teacher, engaging with the sangha, kirtan, chanting, etc. It's really extraordinary. So all of those practices are actually good examples of holy pause when we disengage a little bit with this superficial world and re-engage with this deeper world. If you want to get a little bit philosophical, you can simply pause and ask some fundamental metaphysical philosophical questions. And examples are for instance, philosophical question, what's going on here? So what is this game of life about? What I'm supposed to do? Why am I here? What's my purpose? You can also ask, who am I? Or you can ask some other metaphysical question, is there a God? So when you ask, is there a God? So some spiritual magic starts happening. Or you can investigate and study what happens to us when we die, after we die. So it's a great philosophical question to actually reactivate our deeper dimension. You can also do, as a holy pause, a spiritual inquiry. You can ask, this time from a spiritual standpoint, what's going on here? So there is the world and there is awareness. You can ask, who is ultimately aware of this moment and this experience? Is it me as a separate self or some deeper dimension experiencing life through me? You can also ask, who am I? But don't allow mental answer, but just drop deeper as a spiritual inquiry. So experience who you are rather than your mind telling you who you are. Experience spiritually. So that was an example of spiritual inquiry as a holy pause. You can do holy pause with others, and I've done that numerous times, and it's really beautiful. You can spend some time in silence with your family or friends or in nature. You can meditate together, you can read holy scriptures together, etc. You will notice an incredible human bond, a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood emerging out of those holy pauses taken together. So as opposed to holy pause, there is what I call existential pause. And existential pause usually is not that pleasurable in human condition. Existential pause is a pause that you take because life forced you to take a pause. And it can be in a form of illness, of death of a loved one, that God forbid, can be in a form of divorce or a breakup, loss of a job, loss of a house, God forbid. It can be in a form of global pandemic. That's what we went through as a species globally. It can be in a form of war or natural disaster, etc. Those are all the ways that life imposes forcefully on us a pause when we need to slow down, take another direction, take another path. But those existential pauses are usually painful for individuals and collectives. Although I have to say, a lot of people I work with were at the end grateful for global pandemic COVID-19 that we just went through, because they said that they gathered a lot of insights about them and world during that unpleasurable time. So there are a lot of authors calling global pandemic COVID-19 actually a great reset, and we see some good results emerging out of the pandemic, although on a certain level it was certainly scary and painful. But one way or another, I want you to acknowledge you do take a pause, whether deliberately by creating a holy pause for yourself and others, or forcefully by life, by being forced to take that what I call existential pause. The message of this video, it's better to take a pause deliberately, philosophically, spiritually, experientially, than to be forced by life into what I call existential pause. So one way or another you pause, whether you are aware of that or not. It's better to take a pause deliberately than to be forced by life. That's all for this video. I hope this resonates with you, and I hope this inspires you to take a holy pause as a beginning of your journey and as something that maintains the spiritual journey. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.